Spooky, what's in the box? Spooky, what's in the box? What's in the box? What is this? What's in the box? Go get it.
Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another Gunpla unboxing, and today I'm taking a look at the perfect grade 00 Gundam 7 Sword G. Once again, this video right here would not be possible. Actually, pretty much every video of this year would not have been possible if it wasn't for those awesome people over at HobbyLink Japan. So if you do want one of these of your own, then there's a link down there in the description. So as this is an unboxing, the first thing I'll mention is the box itself. If you've never seen a perfect grade box in person, this thing right here is huge, and I mean huge. There it is compared to a standard high grade box, and if you're wondering what the size of this compared to the regular perfect grade 00 riser box is, I assume it's the same size as this one right here, which is the premium Bandai Trans Am version. And as you can see, it's pretty much exactly the same size. There is a couple of centimeters in the difference, an inch maybe, depending on what units you use, but all in all, it's pretty much the same size. I do have a couple of videos about the perfect grade Trans Am riser if you want to check those out, but inside of this box it was separated into two sections, which was the Gundam 00 itself as well as the riser. So that was an A box and a B box, so does that go for this kit as well? Well, I guess we're about to find out. So on busting this thing open, yes, once again we get an A box and a B box. The A box in here just says perfect grade 00, so that means I think what we get in this box, actually I'm pretty much 99.99% sure that this is exactly the same perfect grade we saw before. The only difference of course in here is the other box. Before I mention that, there is these two GN drives in here in a separate little box. These things are awesome. I will mention them later on in the actual review. So what is new about this box right here is this one, box B, which is the weapons that makes this 00 into the 007 Sword G. So like I mentioned, I already made a video before about the 00 riser, the Trans Am version. I didn't finish it. But this has been around for so long, maybe 8-9 years more. So there's not really much point in me unboxing this or the GN drives either. We're gonna go straight into taking a look at what comes new in this kit. So first off, let's take a look around the box to see exactly what is different about this kit. So the first thing you'll notice here is that Buster Sword is so damn big, it needs its own action base. Basically the same action base you'd use with a 1/100 Gundam, so that means we're getting one hell of a sword in here. But is this the only base we get? Next up then, just like before, we've got an LED unit in the head of the Gundam 00. So that is a specific LED unit just for using with the head, lining up the eyes and the condensers up there in the head. Next up we do have the GN drives. Believe it or not, these are made in China, not in the Japanese Gundam factory. But if you haven't seen these before, these are pretty awesome. Not quite as awesome as what we saw with last year's perfect grade, which was the absolutely perfect Gundam Exia, one of the coolest models I have ever put together. Once again, I did do a full review on that if you want to check that one out. And that right there is a perfect grade, not to be missed. Next up then, it's mentioning those condensers in the arms. Love them or hate them, they're going to be very important in this kit. If you don't know how they work, they're basically spring-loaded locking joints. So the joints do lock, they don't move freely. And when you've got weapons this big, that may be a good thing, but I guess we will find out. Now we're seeing some of the weapons that makes this the 7 Sword, and there first off is the GN Katars. Next up, we've got the absolutely monolithic Buster Sword. This has an LED unit in it as well, so that will be lighting up just like the Master Grade. Next up then is the GN Sword Blaster, and look at this thing. It says right there that this is over 340 millimeters long. That means this is over a foot long. A foot long Gundam weapon. That is pretty badass, and can't wait to see that thing built. Lastly then, we've just got some more details on the kit itself, and I will mention, because it is important, especially if you're ordering one of these. Just like I mentioned, there's an LED unit in the head, an LED unit in the Buster Sword, and there are those two shoulder GN drives. All of those need batteries, and none of those batteries are included, so you better get them in first. So there are the batteries that you need, and exactly how many you'll be wanting. So now taking a closer look at the B box in here, which has all the weapons. So the weapons we get in here are the Buster Sword, that is brand new for this kit. As for the long sword and the short sword, you can see right here, those came with the original version as well, I'm pretty sure. So those right there are not new for this kit. The Katars, those are new for this kit. And lastly then is the GN Sword Blaster 2, which is huge apparently. But one thing I will mention here, and I don't know if you're feeling this, but I'm definitely feeling this. This feels more like this should have been a P Bandai add-on as opposed to a brand new full perfect grade release. But it seems like they wanted to do something pretty big for Christmas because we don't have a big perfect grade. We don't have a big VRK release like we usually do. It's either one or the other. So what that makes me think is they're working on something big. And I mean really big for next year because it is the 40th anniversary of Gundam. So if we're going to be seeing a big perfect grade and or a big VRK, there is probably something massive on the horizon. So what could it be? They've already done the holy trinity of Gunpla. They've made the perfect grade of the 00. They've made the perfect grade of Unicorn, and they've made the perfect grade of the Red Frame Astray. The holy trinity of Gunpla, they're the ones that are beaten to death all the time. They even did one of Wing, which comes a close fourth. So what could it be? The logical part to me says it's either going to be New Gundam or something like that because they rarely ever do anything Zeon. They have never made a perfect grade of New Gundam, and New Gundam was voted the most popular Gundam in Japan this year. So for the 40th anniversary, they're either going to do that or some kind of perfect grade 2.0 of the original Gundam, but my money is on New. As for a VRK, potentially it could be Narrative Gundam. If you look at the kits that become VRK, they're usually very popular or new UC mobile suits. So, like I mentioned, we got Thunderbolt, Psycho Gundam, there is New Gundam, all from the UC timeline, 2 of which were new, and what's new now is Narrative, so maybe it could be that, maybe it won't be. But anyway, I digress. Tell me down in the comments if there's going to be a perfect grade or VRK next year. What's your money on? But back to the box. But anyway, inside of this box we get a whole bunch of new runners. These are just weapons, so I'm not going to waste your time going through each individually, but so far, looking good. And taking a brief look through the manual, we can see, well, the first thing that I wanted to know was, do we get a stand in here like with the 00 Riser? And the answer is no, we don't. We just get that one action base for using with the larger weapons. So that is a little bit of a letdown, and unless you have the original 00 Riser base, that means you're not going to be getting this guy in any flying poses anytime soon. And there, right there, is the base that we get. Just a clear action base for using with the big weapons. So that is it for the quick unboxing. As usual with one of these videos, the most important aspect to me about them is to know what you guys want to see in the review. What do you want me to compare this to? What do you want to see? Is there anything at all, any sort of questions you want to ask? If there is, drop them down there in the comments to let me know. And I'm excited about this. Even though I wasn't a big fan of the perfect grade 00, this right here is the 7 Sword. And the Master Grade 7 Sword was actually the model kit that got me into Gunpla. This channel would not have existed if it wasn't for the 7 Sword. And this is the gasoline that started the fire right here. An awesome little kit. But once again, any questions for the review, drop them down there in the comments. And if you do want one of these of your own, there is a link down there in the description. But anyway, as always, thank you very much for watching. Make sure to come back for more unboxings and reviews, and I'll see you next time.